ourschoolsc.com.
Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller. Weather coverage you can count on. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Well, it's pretty hard not to notice the humidity is up today, right? Yeah, it sure feels like it. And we've had some showers and storms that are now starting to pop across the CSRA. A full look at Live Viper 6 will show you where these storms are headed and what we expect for the rest of the night coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, a former high school teacher facing child exploitation charges. Where that investigation stands now.
Plus, new owners for an old school property in Harlem. We're taking a look at the plans.
And more benefits for first responders in South Carolina. We'll tell you what's been added to that plan as your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Hey everybody, I'm Brad Mead.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thanks so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a former drama teacher at Washington County High School now facing 21 counts related to child sexual abuse materials. Michael Allen Dendy was arrested back in January.
At that time, he was charged with 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children. Bria Smith now with a closer look at this case, which now spans 3 states.
Michael Dendy is the former head of the drama department here at Washington County High School. Investigators say he's worked at schools in Georgia, Mississippi, and Maryland and are looking for more potential victims. After the initial complaints landed Dendy in the Washington County Jail in January, lead investigator Sergeant Corey Collier says they called for more help after learning more information. Dendy has since been indicted by the federal government, charged with possessing, receiving, and distributing child pornography. And investigators say there could be more charges.
During the investigation, we found that there are some victims that could possibly be out of state. So we reached out to the Department of Homeland Security with their majority of resources to help us in the case.
Dendy was arrested in January on his original charges, but is awaiting his arraignment on his federal charges. Investigators say if he's convicted, he could face a minimum of 15 years in prison. In Washington County, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
And the Washington County Sheriff's Office asking if you or somebody you know could be a victim in this case, please contact the Sheriff's Office or the Homeland Security Hotline, which is listed on their website. A shooting investigation underway in Richmond County. This one happened at the Smart Grocery on Wrightsboro Road. Deputies say a man was found shot at least once. His injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. A teenager dead after a shooting in Richmond County. Happened last night on Aiken Street in Augusta. The victim, 15-year-old Jabari Webb. Coroner Mark Bowen says Webb was shot at least once. They took him to the hospital and he died this morning. Another person was shot in this incident, but that person is expected to be okay. We do not have any information at this point on a suspect.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp is cracking down on gangs and increasing public safety. Governor Kemp announcing today plans to go after gang recruiters and human traffickers and to help victims. The Crime Suppression Unit works with local law enforcement. Investigators say gangs often target young people because the penalties are typically less severe. Gangs will often offer young people money and a sense of belonging.
The GBI Gang Task Force, to date, we've investigated 446 gang-related cases across 100 counties, again showing that this is there are no geographic boundaries for gang activity in our state, but there are no geographic boundaries for GBI or the Attorney General's office either. We're going where the locals need us to continue to go after street gangs.
Governor Kemp says the state has increased the base salary for law enforcement by $6,000 for next year's budget in hopes of retaining officers. Well, heat is hammering a lot of the country, including right here in the CSRA.
And with that heat at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, some pop-up showers, Tim.
Absolutely. You nailed it. That's welcome to July, right? Across the CSRA, that's been the case. Yesterday, we didn't have the humidity that we have today. You can probably feel it outside this afternoon. It's pretty prevalent, too. And that, Brad's right, along with some scattered showers and storms that went through Waynesboro, but right now they're Frankly, moving into Barnwell County, the western part of Barnwell County, some pretty heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds, but for the most part, that should really be about it. That's all for now. I think we could have some more storms before everything is said and done for the day. This is our Terry Lambert high day sky view cam. You can see the clouds starting to billow compared to yesterday when they were sort of flat. That means the lid's off the atmosphere, so these clouds can build. 94 officially at Bush Field, 97 in Louisville. Now, these are actual temperatures. This is not the heat index. The heat index is this. Feels like 102 in Augusta, 106 in Louisville. What else do we have here? 102 in Bamberg, 106 in McCormick. That's when it's getting up there. Remember, totally different day today compared to yesterday. Satellite view has our showers and some storms popping up. This little trough is also helping. So the heat of the day, the trough creates lift. And like magic, you get showers and storms. Notice the water vapor loop. This was our air yesterday. All the brown, that's gone. We're under plenty of moisture right now. That'll be the case for the next several days. Temperatures across the southeast, 100 in Dallas. At least we're not that. That good news. 87 in Charleston. So it certainly is toasty. Futurecast has some scattered showers and storms. It'll go through at least, I'd say, about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And once we get to about 11 o'clock midnight, all showers and storms will be done. Evening forecast has that in play all the way through at least 10. That continues for tomorrow. We'll talk more about your forecast in detail in just a few minutes. Jenny Brad.
All right, Tim, thanks. Well, the property where North Harlem Elementary School used to be is now being sold to the city of Harlem.
Graham Lee is live at that property right now.
A lot of excitement surrounding it, Graham, as you learn more about the city's plans for the future of that parcel.
Well, I have learned a little bit more about this property, Brad, and what I know is that this property behind me has been vacant for the last 5 years. The new building for North Harlem Elementary School was built behind me a few years ago, but as I talked to the mayor and those in the community today, they've told me that it's time for this property to be put to good use. What I've learned today is that this property is going to be used in the future for a multi-purpose park. The city of Harlem has just brought the property from the Columbia County Board of Education. The amenities would include a water park, a large pavilion, pickleball courts, and a disc golf course that wraps around the space. Mayor Roxanne Whitaker hopes the park will give people a chance to enjoy the town and have a little bit of fun.
I approached the superintendent and just said we could do a lot with this as far as enhancing the quality of life offerings, not only for the citizens, but also for North Harlem.
Now, Mayor Whitaker tells me that the next step is for the city to send a check to the Board of Education, and from there, engineers will start to draw up a final plan. And she hopes that this park will be finished within the next year, but only time will tell. For now, live in Harlem, Graham Lee, Wjbf, News Channel 6, Bradton.
All right, thanks so much, Graham. Thousands of Augusta property owners are experiencing some home value sticker shock. A steady stream of taxpayers heading
on our website, wjbf.com. McDuffie County's Animal Services has a new director. The county's Community Development Director, Jason Smith, confirming to News Channel 6, Michaela McLean has been hired as the new director. Her first day on the job coming up July 17th. The previous director resigned last month. Benefits now expanded for the families of fallen first responders in South Carolina. Jason Raven takes a look at the changes.
When the legislation was initially filed, it pertained just to law enforcement officers in South Carolina, but as it made its way through the State House and eventually to the governor's desk, other first responders were added. If an eligible law enforcement officer, firefighter, or EMS worker dies in the line of duty, their beneficiaries can receive $75,000 in a lump sum payment from the state. If their death is the result of an unlawful act of another, or they're killed while responding to an emergency situation or other similar incident, that amount could increase to $150,000. For this new law, the pre-retirement incidental death benefit was equal to the first responder's yearly income at the time of death. First responders in the state say they appreciate the increased benefit.
They're here to help citizens in a time of need, and they do it whether it be a volunteer, career, it doesn't matter. They all do it to help their fellow neighbor and make their community safer.
Now, these benefits now also apply to volunteers. This would be paid out through the State Accident Fund. In Columbia, I'm Jason Raven.
Health care leaders throughout the state and law enforcement representatives say there are about 7 line-of-duty deaths a year in South Carolina.
Worldwide, the number of people with diabetes is expected to double in the next 30 years.
Coming up, a woman managing her diabetes with a message for a lot of people out there. Stay with us. Tennessee, Georgia, and South Carolina all have diabetes rates that are higher than the national average.
Type 1 diabetes is usually hereditary. Type 2 can be prevented. Kristen Gallant reports.
Here I am a licensed medical esthetician, medical assistant.
Jasmine Allman has type 2 diabetes.
Diabetes definitely runs in my family. It's genetic for me. So I've been pre-diabetic for however long. They've always told me I was predisposed to it.
She says 5 years ago she started noticing symptoms like dehydration and fatigue, which raised red flags.
And it wasn't until I came to performance medicine and got with the providers here that they really helped me with my diabetes management.
Jasmine is a part of the 37 million people in the United States who have diabetes.
In the United States, around 9% of adults have diabetes. When you look at Tennessee, that number is closer to 13%. And so we're not comparing as well overall to the country. We do have some work to do. When you look at Knox County, around 11% of adults are living with diagnosed type 2 diabetes.
According to the Knox County Health Department, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that can develop usually in childhood or early adolescence. Type 2 diabetes is related to lifestyle practices and can a lot of the times be prevented.
So small amounts of weight loss, changes in diet and physical activity can make a huge impact and can actually reverse that pre-diabetes stage.
Preventative care needs to start early on.
We do know in the United States that there has been, over the last 20 years, there has been around a twofold increase in the rates of diabetes among young people, especially Black and African American and Hispanic young people.
Jasmine is managing her type 2 diabetes with the help of her work. She says she's trying to practice what she preaches to her patients.
According to the American Diabetes Association, just over 12% of people who live in Georgia are diabetic.
What about South Carolina? Well, the health department says 4 out of 5 people in South Carolina are living with the disease. Just how much hotter is it going to be as we head into the weekend?
Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller answers that question for us after the break.
I'm Attorney G. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Live Viper 6 is showing some scattered showers and some thunderstorms that are starting to pop. That dry air that we had yesterday is long gone. And these showers and storms are about to ready to move into Barnwell itself. They're in the western part of the county. Again, a little bit of lightning here with this, some heavier rain, maybe some heavier downpours. And then just spotty showers sort of here and there. Near Garfield, Twin City, north of Swainsboro. Again, a little shower. Not done quite with the showers yet. I still think we could have some showers and storms to pop tonight. But it's 94. That's where we should be for this time of year. Frankly, 94 at Bushfield, Danielfield the same in Aiken, 94 across the board. Humidity up a little bit, dew point 71 degrees. That's why it feels sort of muggy and sort of uncomfortable. Warm and muggy starts to our day in the mornings. Hot and humid afternoons. The heat index between 102 to 110 in some locations, and hit and miss late day thunderstorms. That is a typical July forecast for us. All across the two-state, we see these showers and storms starting to blow up here. Sort of a hole here, tiny bit drier, more humidity to the south. There's a severe thunderstorm watch along with that front well to our north. No worries about that. Tracking the tropics, this area disturbed weather we've been watching the last few days, 60% chance of that developing, but as it does develop, it will remain out to sea. So what we're tracking is a lot more moisture and upper level flow that will bring these little systems into the area. With the heat of the day, we'll fire off these showers and storms, and with plenty of Gulf moisture, we will not be missing any part of the moisture. That'll be with us. Noontime tomorrow for Friday, we start out fine. And then as we go through the day, scattered showers and thunderstorms start to develop at any point. Any one of these containing some pretty heavy rain. You know how it is. It rains, it goes, may come back. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, there goes the showers and storms. We're pretty much done with it. How about Saturday? Saturday, starting at noon. It's all relatively quiet. And then scattered showers and storms will start to pop all the way through the afternoon time. This will probably take us through the early evening. Another batch of storms moves through about 8, 9 o'clock. And then the leftover straggler showers ending by about 11 o'clock or midnight. We'll do that all over again for Sunday. So let's look ahead to Sunday. Sunday starts off quiet and then scattered showers and thunderstorms coming up through the afternoon. They'll end again by about 10, 11 o'clock. The real story, though, the heat. That's the actual temperature the next few days, 95 to 96. This is the heat index, what it feels like. 106 tomorrow, 107 for both Saturday and Sunday. So be careful out and about for sure. Tonight, 72 degrees. Some of us could see only mid-70s. We'll call it partly cloudy. Any scattered showers and storms ending by about midnight. 95 the high tomorrow, 92 in Aiken. Saluda at 92, again with our shower and thunderstorm activity developing. Our 10-day Viper Alert forecast, decent chances of showers and storms as we get into next week. Pretty much every day there's that storm chance, and we'll continue to watch that as well with those high temperatures, mid to upper 90s. That's your forecast.
Coming up, NASA releasing a new vivid image taken by the James Webb Space Telescope.
It's the largest space telescope ever built, and it's next.
Of all the day.
NASA's James Webb Telescope celebrated its first year in operation with a new picture yesterday. The image is what's known as the Wjbf, a star-forming region that's about 390 light years away.
NASA says this is the closest star-forming region to Earth. The area also includes approximately 50 young stars, all similar in mass to our sun or smaller.
Isn't that beautiful?
Stunning, just so pretty.
Wow. There's much more coverage you can count on coming up next on News Channel 6 at 4:30.
Including Plan B for student loans. The new program just released. We'll tell you all about it in a moment.